Brunson driving, layup, shot is good. Leans in, pass inside, and a travel.
Cannot say enough about the job defensively to Karl Anthony Towns and Victor Wembanyama.
I was bad tonight. It's not more complicated than that.
Brunson, corner three is up. Bang! And the Knicks take a 2-point lead.
I trust my work, trust everything I do. I stay confident in those moments.
12 consecutive wins for the Knicks as they take game one of the NBA Finals.
For us at ESPN and ABC, it is our privilege to bring you the NBA Finals. Game 2 is tonight. And as you are aware, for the first time this season, it has been our privilege to bring you Inside the NBA, starring Ernie and Kenny and Shaq and the man who joins us now, the one and only Charles Barkley, live from San Antonio. Charles, I can't thank you enough for doing this. And we have a little time here, so I just wanted to start with a thought on that. You guys have been an institution for a very long time. But the other night was the first time that you guys hosted a game in the NBA Finals. What was that like, and what is it like for you now to be a part of all this?
It was one of the most exciting days in my broadcasting career. You know, I was talking to Ernie about it. I was so excited I didn't take my pregame nap. I mean, it was awesome. You know, number one, I said this at the beginning of the year, working for the greatest sports network ever has been an honor and a privilege. Every kid who's ever touched a ball wanted to be on ESPN. Every kid ever who's touched a ball wanted to be on ESPN. And to go and work with you guys has been awesome. But to get to do the finals, it was exciting, it was fun, and we had a blast.
It was wonderful to watch, and so let's dive in here as we looked ahead to game 2. The general sentiment I've been getting from both sides is that both feel they could have played better. The Spurs clearly yesterday on their off day said, we think we can play a whole lot better. We don't need to change a lot of stuff. It's more about us than it was about them. And most of the Knicks fan friends of mine think that the Knicks didn't necessarily play particularly well. So what will you be watching tonight in game 2 at the start that will give you a sense of what we should expect?
You know, Greeny, one of my big regrets of my career, I did not have my team ready to play in game 1 of the finals. It was different. I thought it was a regular game, but it was totally different. And I didn't have my guys ready to play. I thought that's what happened in game 1 for both teams. They both were nervous. So I think both teams will play better in game 2. But I thought both teams played nervous. I thought they played frenetic. I think they'll both calm down. And it's going to be a much better game. Even though it was a good game, neither team did not play well. But I think the Knicks are going to have the same advantages they had in game 1 and game 2. Karl Anthony Towns, I thought that was one of the best games I've ever seen him play. When they had Victor on him, he was aggressive, going to the basket. When they put a little guy on him, he dominated on the offensive board. I think he's going to have those advantages in every game. I've always said all along, he's the key to the series. If he plays well, the Knicks are going to win the series. I mean, Brunson is their closer, but Karl Anthony Towns, to me, is the key to the entire series.
And how about him staying out of foul trouble? That felt like a big piece of it. The way the game was officiated, they let them play. Brian Windhorst was talking about that earlier this morning. If there's been a problem for Towns historically, it's been his propensity to get into foul trouble. So what are you saying to him tonight if you're Mike Brown?
Yeah, he normally gets 2 stupid fouls a game. But in fairness, he hasn't done that this run. This is one of his best stretch of basketballs I've ever seen him play. He hasn't got dumb fouls at all. But I think one advantage he has, Victor's not that guy that's just going to get the ball in the post and let him dominate. So that's going to help him stay out of foul trouble. If he was playing against a dominant center where they gave him the ball in the post, he does have tendency to get those dumb fouls. But Wemby doesn't play like that. So that's going to help Karl and stay out of foul trouble.
He did in game 1, and we'll see if he's able to do it. He played 18 and 12 and very effectively in that game. And so he may be the most important piece, but clearly it's Jalen Brunson's team. And I would like to get your perspective on him. There's been so much talk about trying to win a championship with the best player on your team being, a smaller guard. You obviously played against Isaiah Thomas in his heyday when he was the leader of those Pistons teams that won a couple of championships. How about Brunson and the way, despite his size, he just manages to get it done, it seems, whenever they need him?
Yeah, I heard that debate on the show several times. And I'm like, I guess they never heard of Isaiah Thomas or Steph Curry. Steph Curry's, I think Brunson bigger than both of those guys. Now, I'm not comparing him to Steph Curry because Steph is the greatest shooter ever. But Isaiah Thomas and Steph both won, I think, 6 championships. So a little guy can win a championship. But I'll say this. If Brunson is able to deliver a championship to New York, it would be the greatest free agent signing ever. I said that a couple of years ago. And people said, well, what about LeBron? And I said, well, don't compare him to LeBron and KD and those guys. I said, but nobody, even the Knicks, thought Brunson was going to be this great. And if he's able to deliver a championship to New York, this would be the greatest free agent signing in NBA history.
I like that take. And I like watching you. I'm thinking back, just as you're talking, I'm remembering when Villanova was winning national championships and you were over there cheering. I remember watching, they had a camera on you. You had that connection to Jay Wright and that connection to Villanova. And so you obviously have been aware of these guys. And I wonder what you think is the significance of them having been together. The Villanova guys who have been through it now. They did it on the college level. They've been together so long. They have the 10,000 hours. What significance do you think that has for that group in this final?
Well, I'm Villanova biased because my daughter went to Villanova. That's why I'm such a big Villanova fan. And when I first got to Philadelphia in 1984, Jay Wright was a nobody, and we hung out all the time together. We were the same age, basically. So I've known Jay Wright since 1984 when he was a grad assistant. He's always been a great person. He's always been a terrific coach. All those Villanova guys know how to play basketball, quote unquote, the right way. You look at Jalen, Bridges, Hart. They know how to play basketball. Hart makes more winning plays than any player we had in the NBA in a long time. When you look at, he don't make any mental mistakes. He just plays with tremendous effort. If you want defense, he does it. You want rebound, he does it. But the main thing him and Bridges bring to the table is just mental toughness. But, man, Jay Wright was just a hell of a coach, and he taught those guys how to play basketball the right way. And it's going to be it's fun watching those guys play.
Let's talk about the other side of it now. You get Victor Wembanyama, who you may have heard the debates here. I know that you like to get up and watch the shows, ours and Steve's, and all the rest of that. The debates about, is it his league already? Is it his time? All that sort of thing. He's obviously a defensive presence unlike practically anything ever. And his offensive game is developing. What do you need to see from him tonight for San Antonio to even this?
I thought what I said earlier, he was a little frenetic. He's going to calm down. Greeny, we did not know if we were going to go to OKC or San Antonio. So I had to watch Game 7. The emotion that kid showed after Game 7, it almost brought tears to my eyes. I was like, the NBA is in a great place having that kid as the face of our league for the next 20 years. His emotion, it was so incredible. And then I watched the press conference, and he talked about how much winning meant to him. I was like, it made me so proud. It made me so proud that that guy is going to be the face of our league for the next 20 years. That being said, I still like the Knicks to win this series. I picked the Knicks in 6 because this is just a bad matchup for the Spurs. I think the Spurs got a terrific team, but Karl Anthony Towns is a great matchup to play against Victor because if you go back, when he's able to stay back there and be a safety like the great run a lot and clog up the lane. He can't do that against the Knicks because Carl is such a threat with his three-point shot. And if he's able, when they try to switch and put little guys on him, if he's going to dominate them in the paint, that's a huge advantage for the Spurs. But having Victor as the face of our league, Shea, Joker, and Edwards, our league is in a great place going forward.
So his time may come, but you're saying Knicks in 6, and so it isn't his time yet. And we had Vinny Goodwill on here earlier this morning saying if the Spurs lose tonight, he thinks this thing could end in 4. What is your sense of that? I remember your Phoenix team. You lost those 2 games at home. You went to Chicago. You had to play 3 times there. You won 2 of those 3 and forced the game 6. Do you think if the Spurs lose tonight, this thing could go over quickly?
You know, I had this debate with Kenny and Shaq. Before game 1, I said, man, I've been studying this series. I don't think the Knicks, I don't see how the Spurs can beat the Knicks if the Knicks play well. They're like, I guarantee you won't say that on television. So I'm going to stick with my original pick, Knicks in 6. But I will tell you this, Benny's not wrong. If the Knicks win tonight, they're going to sweep the Spurs. Now, that's a big if. But if the Knicks win tonight, they're definitely going to sweep the Spurs.
Look, Vinny is watching and nodding and loves it. He loves the validation. There you go, Vincenzo. Charles Barkley co-signing your take. I got to take a quick break here. We're going to come back with much more with Charles Barkley. We'll get more deeply into the finals. We'll also talk about all sorts of things around the league in whatever time we have remaining. Charles Barkley stays with us for the rest of the hour as we roll on. You're watching Get Up on ESPN.